I'm going to change the view so that we're side by side. There we go. Nice. All right.
Got a projector on there, is there?
Yeah, up there. Yeah. That's what I watch snooker on.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and then there's a screen that pulls down that's attached there.
Oh, sick, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, man. It's great. That's what I spent basically Christmas and New Year's watching shit.
So it's a 2-bed flat, yeah?
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. No, I'm lucky here.
Amberwell as well, yeah. Nice spot.
Yeah, it's just nothing to do at the moment. Yeah. But I don't know, I've been doing shit here, productive.
That's the fun. Don't beat yourself up, man. You've been good for the last few days.
I've been doing loads. Hang on, yeah, I can't. The thing is, my voice is weird. There we go. Fuck it. It looks kind of all right. I don't know. Right. It's weird to hear my voice so loud. Oh yeah, I'm not beating myself up. I think it's just I hadn't left the house for 3 or 4 days. Yeah, this is the most productive I've been in years, man. Like literally.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And starting up partnerships and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I realized that I hadn't had any sun at all for about 3 or 4 days. And as much as I am in a great mood because of exercise and eating well and all of that, you need all of it, don't you? You need all of it.
You need the HappyTech, man. You need to go mental. Which you know more than anyone, man. It's true though. The sun, the vitamin D. I mean, I always knew it's an effect, but since like in December, I felt it immediately as soon as I come back. Like, fuck me, such a downer.
Well, I've totally been spoiled in Spain. It's like it just default setting is that several hours a day you're going to get sun. I think it was cloudy about 6 days the whole time I was in Spain. I mean, that isn't even an exaggeration.
I know. Yeah, but I reckon, well, for me anyway, I reckon next time I'm over there, I think I'll appreciate it even more, the sun. Take it for granted. I mean, if anything, sometimes you're like, it's a bit too hot. You're like, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I was super ready to return to London. I like having not been here for 15 months. And I was like, right, I'm done with Spain. I actually felt like that for a couple of weeks. And then I was like, actually, why do I need to be done with anywhere? I actually there's lots of Spain I do like as well. I just don't know if I want to be there for longer than about a month at a time because it's a bit slow. It's a bit samey.
Yeah.
And that's lovely and it's fine and no judgment on people who just want to hang out, but it is just a lot of hanging out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, really, it really is, mate. Yeah. I spoke to a lot of people about it, like the people who've been, like who saw my Instagram and were following us and stuff and going, this is a mad life. And it's true. But the nice thing is knowing that we have that now at our disposal, like, at any time, really.
Absolutely, man. At any point, we can live in rent-free in multiple places, and it's a joy. And then not only have rent-free, but also it's just cheap there, isn't it?
Yeah,
full stop.
Yeah. Plus, you're having a better time than you would normally in England anyway. Like even just being in the house with tunes, drinking a box of wine, it's like better than most times in England. Fuck me.
Right, Ben, how did we meet?
We met very unusual law of attraction style fate way of meeting, I think. So I was in July, I was in August I was made redundant from my role. I was living in Leeds at the time, which I was very grateful for as well. I just had enough of everything in England pretty much, especially lockdown. So me and some friends who I used to live with, we'd booked a villa in a place called Javier in Spain, where we'd planned for years to do it. We hadn't seen each other for a long time, so we went over there. We knew some people over there, some friends and family, but others. And it was on the last night, I think he was there, and we were hosting like a bit of a leaving party. And Phil and Sue, who's like the auntie and uncle, but my almost in-laws these days, were there, and they said to us, "Would you mind if I invited someone over, a girl, I'm not sure how much I could say on that one, who has had a bit of a tough time," and we're like, yeah, whatever, more the merrier. This is how most of us know each other anyway, sort of waifs and strays through the years. We're like, yeah, bring her over. So we had her met, but then she said, is it okay if I bring this guy who's like second date, I think it was second or third date? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, more the merrier. That man turned out to be yourself, and the rest is history. No,
We made about 3 days.
yeah. So you came in. I remember when you came in and stuff, and straight away we clicked and stuff, and we started talking most of the night. I think I was DJing in like the little booth, the little man-made booth in the back, and we gelled over tunes and stuff. And I was like, this and this. And I remember asking you.
We gelled over tunes, Curb Your Enthusiasm, snooker, I think, and ayahuasca. You were really keen. You and your friend Callum were really keen to find out about ayahuasca, and I'd done it many times, and you were keen to pick my brains on that. And and actually, that girl I was with on that date got really jealous because I spent the whole time with you two.
Yes.
Ignored her.
Yeah, and then she said to my friend, she's like, "Oh, I never realized your friend was gay," or something like that. Or I think my date fancies your friend, or something along those lines. Yeah. And still to this day, she believes we're in a relationship.
Yeah, well, we are, but just not a sexual one. Yeah.
Fuck me, yeah. But she saw this video, she'd have a meltdown. But that's how we met. And then I went. So obviously, lots of changes had happened. I flew back at the end, and then I was back in England, and I was like, look, I don't want to go into a job right now. Certainly nothing, or even look for a job. But I'd always wanted this idea of more like a nomadic life, laptop lifestyle. And you had already told me about HappyTech, and I was thinking this at home, thinking that's exactly what I want to do. And Leeds is miserable at the minute, and so we sent a few messages. We jumped on a Zoom, which was almost like an interview for an hour, but it turned out to be like me, you, and Ryan was there. I remember having a few beers.
We were just fucking about, but yeah, we were sounding each other out. But I was like, as soon as you said, "Hey, I'm looking for something to do," I'm like, well, actually, we do need to generate new business. Would you like to come along in that kind of capacity? And fortunately for us, you didn't need to earn any money in the short term, and so you could fund yourself for a bit and work on commission. And then you literally hopped on. It was like you literally hopped on a flight to Spain, and you were there about a week later or something.
It was about a week later, because it was obviously then when you fly, you have to do legally. I think it was 10 days of lockdown stuff and quarantine, and I was like, I would have gone the next day, but I was a bit worried about being arrested.
That's right. There was
I booked the first available flight that I could, went out, and then that's when I went to your mum's place.
You came to join me in Valencia, because at the time, because I was sort of splitting my time between the retreat in Almeria, which we'll talk about in a bit, and my mum's place. But I went back to you'll laugh, but I went back to my mum so that I could watch the entire of the World Snooker Championship basically on their big screen TV.
Yes, no.
And then you came out just after that. I think it was like August, and I was always planning to head back to Almeria, but I kind of got a bit comfortable with my mum's. I had this whole apartment to myself and a pool and everything. It was
it's a beautiful place.
Comfort, the enemy of progression.
Yes, it was. So I was there. When was it? Then my friend Daniela came.
Yep.
I must have been at yours for at least 2 weeks, was it? Maybe about
that. 10 days, 12 days, something like that. Yeah. And then you had to fly back to move house, something like that.
That was it. Yeah. Oh yeah. So shit. So I went. That was it. Sorry. Yeah. So I went to yours for like 2 weeks. Then my friend Daniela joined us for a little bit, which we could talk a bit about. But then I had to. My lease was up, so I had to fly back to move up my things out of the flat to my mum's house, and then I literally moved my stuff. And like a day later, I flew out, and then but then I flew to David's.
That's right. We flew to Almeria, and then we had a weekend in Almeria staying at Freddie's flat, didn't we? And I was just happy to be in a city. I mean, I love living in the middle of nowhere, but I'm a city boy as well. I just like to have chocolate croissant on the street and watch girls go by. It's one of my favorite things.
That is, I've been to a few cities like that, but that's up there. That has to be like the best pastry and the best women, the best crumpets and the best
combination. And then of course, we got to David's, which is David Dean, who runs Casa De La Realidad, House of Reality, And that's completely different to my mum's as well, isn't it? That's a much more laid back hippie hangout where party can erupt at any time. There's always people coming in and out. It's quite difficult to get any work done, to be honest. I mean, I've kind of really loved lockdown, being stuck in London accidentally for a couple of months, because I don't have those kind of distractions. I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah. That was a magical place, because that time, so I was hoping, I was chomping at the bit to go to David's, because you'd been telling me all these stories, because you've been like for the last 10, 15 years, was it?
Yeah.
And I'd heard all these magical things about this place, and I was like, that literally sounds like the place I have to be. It felt right. So then, David's place. Wow, what a place! A place I'll never forget, and a place that I will 100% go back to in some capacity, if it's visiting or living. But
yeah, it is a very. It's just always learning there, always learning. David is a very like kind and, I wouldn't say gentle man. He's kind of a battering ram in some ways, isn't he? But that's good. You need it sometimes. And I really learned how to not take things personally there. That's the main thing. It really helped me in my relationship with my mum, actually, because during the first lockdown, I was stuck with my mum and we just argued and it was terrible, really. And then I went to David's and kind of learned how to, he has this great expression. He says, Dan, I'm not complaining. This is data. I'm just giving you data. I love that. It's great. Just data for you to process.
That's a way out of any argument, really. Isn't
Brilliant,
it?
though, isn't it? It's so good.
Yeah,
and then I realized that that's what my mum was doing too. And I was just reacting to it as her son. And so when I went back over summer to my mum, we didn't have a single crossword. I just didn't take anything personally. It's like one of the central tenets of Buddhism, not to take things personally. And I still have.
There's a reason why I'm not boozing, so I haven't really had anything till now.
Yeah, I still haven't had a drop. I mean, I started on January the 4th. Dry Jan was not, fair enough. I didn't really think about it, but I just felt like shit. I'd had a big come down from, I did that DJ stream from a barn in Suffolk. And we stayed up for 2 days and had a big come down from that. And I realized I'd since like the 2nd and 3rd, 4th, I think I'd drunk a bottle of red wine every day. It's so easy to do that when you're feeling shitty and watching movies and things. And I thought, I'm going to make a change. I know, well, as I always say, action is the answer to everything. I'm like, I was feeling shitty. How can I get out of it? Right, then just carry on writing on your book. Get on with making content that you've got these ideas for. And I thought, well, what will make this a lot easier is if I quit drinking and quit sugar. I'd also got into this, and my housemate and I were going across the road to Tesco's and getting a selection boxes and just eating the whole thing in like an hour. I don't know what happened. I just got a taste for booze and sugar suddenly. I think it's because I was feeling a little frustrated having got back to London, had a little bit of fun for a while, and then can't leave the house. I'm like, why am I in London? Why aren't I in the mountains in Spain?
Well, yeah, look, I feel you, man. I feel you. And it's such an easy fix, just having like a bar of chocolate. It feels amazing for 10 seconds and then just shit.
But at that point, I had this very strange set of disciplines where I was still exercising, but drinking and eating loads of sugar. I'm getting fat basically, even though I was still exercising. I could just feel it. I was like, oh, I don't get fat again.
Stodgy. That's something else as well, though, because we were both like, when the gyms were open, I was loving it. I was going, you were going, and like every day. That's been a big thing. I know it's an excuse, and I know we can work out at home, but like for me, I need to have that. Like, I need to have a reason for me not to drink and not to smoke. I need to have if it's a holiday or if the gym's open. So I was recently doing Thai boxing. What's it called? Not Wu Chang. Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan. Wing Chun.
Wing Chun. Right, yeah.
Wing
Chun, which is from Kung Fu. So I started doing that.
All of that stopped, hasn't it?
Hey?
All of that stopped.
Yeah. It's all stopped. And let alone, like everyone's on about like lockdown and the gym's closing. It's true. It has an effect on like your brain, your mood and stuff. But naturally then, to sort of numb yourself or feel better, you just go, well, I'll have a beer, I'll have a bottle of wine, I'll have some chocolate. Which is
office-based drugs, like we used to call them.
Yeah, we know more than anyone. We've read everything there is to read about what to do. We know exactly what to do and how to get out of it, but we just like drinking wine and eating chocolate, fortunately.
Well, I keep speaking to people who are saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to exercising again after lockdown." I'm like, What? This is a limiting belief. I mean, without being rude about it, just need a yoga mat. You don't even need that. You need a yoga mat and an app in an ideal world. And I've started this little private group on Twitter, and it's very low pressure, but it's just you chip in there when you've exercised, and it's guys and girls. And it's, we share workouts and things. It's a little strength in numbers kind of thing. But two people now have said to me this week, "Yeah, I can't wait to exercise again. I'm really looking forward to that." I'm like, "What? You can start now." I exercise every day, nearly. 5 out of 7 days. But yeah, recently I changed my morning routine because I used to be, as you know, we used to get up, pretty much have coffee, exercise straight away, get it done, just get it out of the way. You don't have, then your monkey mind doesn't have time to kick in and try to talk you out of it and like, oh, do it tomorrow, But I was really struggling with my writing, and actually, it's not really struggling. It's not fair to say that. If I sat down to do it and I'd set my time of 25 minutes, I would get it done. I'd be flowing. It'd be great. But it was the actual getting started. It was the getting round to it. And then I hopped on this Zoom call. There's a couple of coaches on there, and it was all about get your one truth. Work on your one main thing. What's the main thing right now you need to be focusing on that you're not doing? And for me, it's getting this book out the door that I've been working on for a year, and it's in the final stages of editing. And one of the coaches on there said, if you thought about changing your morning routine, why don't you wake up, meditate, write straight away, and then exercise later in the day? You're obviously disciplined enough to exercise. You're not going to stop exercising because you know how great it makes you feel. And that has revolutionized how it's been game changing. I've been doing it, must be like 11, 12 days. I think it's 2 weeks since that call. And what's interesting about it is not only is I'm finding it really easy to do. So I sit up, I wake up, I set the time of 20 minutes, I meditate for 20 minutes, I then make coffee, I then sit on my MacBook, and it just set the time for 25 minutes, and I just pour. It's not even a thing. It's easy. It's easy to the point where, as I'm going to sleep at night, I'm kind of excited about the writing session, but I was never excited about the writing session until this time.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's like you set the intention at night, you wake up to it.
Yeah.
Are you eating before as well, or you do it before you eat?
No, I don't tend to eat until about 1 o'clock anyway. I've always been for the last few years, I've been doing kind of intermittent fasting. Like, I always, so I try to exercise after. So I do a couple of writing blocks, then I try to exercise, and then I eat. And that's kind of, I mean, I haven't massively been a fan of these kind of morning routine things that these, the top billionaires do. These are the 6 things they do every morning. The 5 a.m. club. Fuck that. That's so unappealing to me. But these two little things, these two changes I've implemented, which is simply to meditate straight away. I think meditating before writing is a secret weapon as well. You kind of, without being too whimsical about it, you're kind of summoning the spirits.
Your mind's getting reset, isn't it? Almost. Makes sense. You're shutting the chatter out, the normal shit that's in your head. You need them to write, otherwise you'd be thinking. Let alone the 25-minute rule, which was revolutionary for me. I still use that.
It's a secret weapon. I think it's a secret weapon. I always teach people about that, or like share that information. Because the problem for me was with the writing, like doing it in the afternoon, is that by midday 1 o'clock, if I've been on my phone, obviously I'll be involved in several conversations on Insta, on WhatsApp, on email. My head is almost frazzled. I mean, it's not good. And to then sit down to try to write, whereas in the morning, before I've even the only thing I've been on my phone for in the morning is to set the timer or to look up some meditation music. So then do two blocks of writing. And I've also, I've been implementing the timed break in between the 25 minutes. So this is another thing that I used to rally against, is like, do the 25 minutes, then have a nice free and easy, maybe half an hour fuck about on the internet. But actually I've realized that sometimes those fuck abouts on the internet, before I know it, it's 3 p.m. and
to send you off piste.
Yeah, it sends me off piste, exactly. And so now I've been tying myself I've been setting the 10-minute, you hit the break button and it'll do it for 10 minutes or whatever you set, but I set it 10 minutes. 10 minutes is enough for you to go around on your various bits of interesting social media, whatever that you're into, but not quite enough to get really into something else. And then the timer goes again. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing another block. It's a bit like training a stupid dog, because that's what I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, like me. Yeah, it makes sense. That whole thing that you mentioned about the morning, like, I've been reading a lot as well. Maybe it's similar train of thoughts, but it's true, because that whole thing of what we are now in society, you know, the phones, the chat, the noise, the TV, and he said for the first hour when you wake up, don't look at your phone. That's one of the first things, as you're training your brain like the monkey that it is, and so straight away you've just got noise, and it makes sense. What you're doing is essentially that, plus you're meditating as well, so you are doing anything. So when you wake up, your complete focus is on whatever you do then. If it's, you know, you watch an hour of YouTube, that's it. You're setting your day up to be, that's how it's going to be. So if you're setting it up like that, like you're doing, then brilliant. And the whole thing about multitasking as well is the same thing. A lot of the same people say that. It's like multitasking is like a skill. It's like multitasking is impossible. The science has shown it. It's like, as humans, we can only switch tasks, I think it is. So it's like every time you change a task, it takes about 20 minutes to reset your mind into something. So you do one thing at a time. So for 25 minutes, you do your book, you do your exercise. You can't do your exercise and your book and have your phone at this, even though you think you can multitask, but
it's ruinous, isn't it?
Maybe operating at 10% of what you can do. So you may as well do 25 minutes, 100% at it, than 3 hours at 10%, yeah? Makes sense.
I saw that Eckhart Tolle has just launched a new course, and it's called Do One Thing at a Time.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like, it's very simple stuff, really, but actually doing it. As now it's mad to think, we were still in the generation still before smartphones, and it's still mad to think before we had a phone. It's just mad. Like what did we do? Like,
well, I know.
It's mad.
What we did is we had a much healthier brain state. I missed my pre-internet brain. I think I attended a seminar called that. I missed my pre-internet brain, and it was at somewhere in Shoreditch House. It was at Shoreditch House, and it was about, you know, it was about. I used to be able to, when I was 15, 16, if I was into something, I would just do it for hours at a time. There was no distractions. There was no. Okay, I had a Commodore Amiga computer. That was one of my endeavors, but I didn't like flip between two things. It wouldn't cross my mind to do so. But now, a normal day in the office. I mean, actually, I say since I've quit booze and sugar and really been super hyper productive, but it's all on my MacBook. I was thinking that yesterday. So I'm either writing in the morning, it's my MacBook Air, and then I'm doing HappyTech admin, following up leads, things like that. Again, it's all on my computer. Then I'm editing video content. I've got fucking hours of video content that I'm going through and cutting out little gold nuggets. It's on my computer. And then maybe I'll watch something on Netflix late at night. It's on my computer. That was kind of making me a bit sad yesterday. And I phoned my mum, like, what can I do about this? And the only solution she had was, well, go out for a walk a bit. I'm like, yeah, not much I can do about the fact that everything I do is on my computer at the moment. I mean, at the moment. Oh, and the other thing I forgot, fucking Zooms. On Monday, I had 6 Zooms. And yes, a couple of them were like tuition things that I wanted to learn about. I'm not complaining about being busy. But I realized at the end of the day, I'm literally been on my laptop the whole time. And yes, I've been hanging out with people. Having a Zoom now is a bit of work, bit of hanging out. It's cool. I like that. But there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have a solution. I mean, and it's only really in this unusual time where we can't go and have face-to-face meetings, and we're not going out on expeditions to the beach or whatever, you know?
It's on Zoom.
You got the answer to that? No, there's no.
Well, not right now. Look, Zoom fatigue is, I think it's either you're going to be on your phone. For you to do those things that you've said, you either need a laptop or a phone, that's just, or maybe you do, rather than a Zoom, you do a phone call, you know, an old school phone call where you don't look at someone's face. Yeah. I think normally one-on-ones, look, this is us, obviously we want to see each other. We haven't seen each other for a while, but most one-on-one Zooms, fucking do it on the phone. I think one-on-one sometimes, especially someone, it's a bit weird actually thinking about it. You know, you don't really know someone and they're in someone's bedroom. Or more people. Yeah. One-on-one Zooms are a bit weird actually.
And you're right. You can get it done in a phone call, can't you?
But I'm going to make this a thing now. One-on-one Zooms are weird.
Be a phone call. Well, I do. I've been working an hour or 90 minutes today. I've been working with Nika from the organization Origin on helping them with their business plan. And I turn my self view off. So on your Zoom, if you go to your camera and there's 3 dots top right, click on it, hide self view, because one of the things that happens when you're in a one-to-one is you just constantly, some of your brain power is taken up analyzing how you look. You can't help it. It's, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look, I could, probably get rid
Yeah,
of
it's very true. Yeah.
Stubble
I've known some people say that. I've known some people do that themselves.
Yeah, hide self-view.
Yeah.
Frees up brain power. It stops you being so self-aware. I've left it on today because we're recording this, obviously. But yeah, I think that definitely helps because I always go back to this. On Star Trek, when they can connect to people, they don't see themselves as well.
Yeah.
Like now in the new Star Trek, there's like a hologram in front of you, but you don't see a hologram of yourself talking to them, do you? You just see them.
Yeah, it's true. That might have changed the whole series of Star Trek. Like
they don't flip over the communicator and there's a little you in the corner.
Like, imagine the amount of times like Captain Kirk would have been looking at his hair and someone's like shot him in the face.
Exactly. That guy.
Sorry, Captain, I've got to beam you up, and he's looking at his. I've got a spot there. My eyes.
Yeah, no, exactly. You constantly like, I know when I was in Spain doing a lot of Zooms, I'd be like, oh God, I hope like the veranda looks nice and everything.
Well, yeah, when me and you were doing Zooms, it took us half an hour to set them up as we were getting our flowery shirts. Set in the background. We had like
you got to dress the set.
3 dogs and like zooming some woman who's never seen us, like some businesswoman or something, and we've got like 3 dogs and us. We've got our flowery shirts, our chests out, and we're like, "Hi, we're HappyTech," and they're like, "Oh, hey, how are you?"
It all helps, doesn't it?
No, it was good. We let them know exactly what we were, and they loved it. Actually, there's a lesson there in being genuine rather than having like a fake background. We were like, this is
one of our clients. That's right. One of those clients that we were talking to thought, wow, she's got an amazing apartment, all glass and everything. And then I realized as she moved her hair that there was a little bit of fuzz. I'm like, oh, that's a green screen. That's not her apartment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then she turned it off. In one of our subsequent Zooms, once we got to know her, she turned it off to show us her planner of speaking gigs that were coming up. And then she was in this tiny little box room. It was all grey.
That is such an example of the modern world now, isn't it? Like,
I know.
I'm not even sure if she was trying to be like to pretend she was bigger than she is or whatever. I don't think it was that. More, look, she doesn't want to see a messy flat on show, which I get, as well.
I suppose so, yeah.
But still, though, it's just another thing in 2020 and 2021 now, which is just a thing that we've never had to comprehend with. It's like, what background to have on Zoom?
Yeah.
Should I blur? Should I not? Should I have my screen up? It's mad. But I've been getting Zoom fatigue this week. I've been getting like mornings where 9 till 11 are just on Zoom, and I'm like, it fries your brain pretty much, just not used to it.
Yeah, it's like watching the TV for 8 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah. 9 to 11,
that's
and then
not
like
healthy.
Hours. Yeah, it's like binging on Netflix. And what happens when you're on Netflix? You zone out a bit. You're like,
you just feel crap after a few hours, don't you? Yeah.
But it is what it is, And I think, like you said, once things go back to normal, I think we'll be in a better position because we've lived both worlds. So we'll still use Zoom more than we probably used to. Yeah, but oh man, can you imagine a face-to-face meeting with someone? I'm gonna fucking love it. A hug.
Are we ever going to be able to hug strangers again? Oh, if you had the vaccine, imagine it's going to be like that. So if you had the vaccine, it's going to be like that, right?
So it will. And then the anti-maskers. That's not going to go.
Anti-vaxxers who will refuse to have it.
Yeah, and those are the ones. It'll be like, have you been done? It'll be like, no. And it'll be like, yeah. So straight away, you're going to be starting on an awkward.
Yeah, no, they're going to think we're idiots for having taken the vaccine because now we're being controlled by Bill Gates and the 5G towers, and we're going to think they're idiots because they're still spreading the fucking thing.
It's a good point. You know what? That will at some point, just law of averages, that will affect a lot of things. If it's a first date, if it's a business meeting, you will someone like a businessman or woman say, and they go to shake their hand and they'll say, have you been vaccinated? And they'll be like, no. So straight away, it's like,
why? Off. Why? Is it because of Bill Gates?
Yeah, because you can't trust the person, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a whole new world, but I'm here for it. And I am up for those.
We'll adapt. We're adaptable guys. We just roll with the punches, man. That's what people like us. We're like eels flowing through life. You know what I mean?
Social butter.
Social butter. Yeah, exactly. We'll adapt. And we'll break down the barriers, you know. And again, in places like if we're hanging out in the middle of nowhere in Spain, none of that's going to be a thing, is it?
No, yeah, Spain's so different. I seen something on Reddit the other day. It had research. It had the map porn, I think it's called. Is it map something? It's a subreddit anyway that I have, and it's
map porn.
Yeah, it's something like that, or map something. It's just all different maps and graphs. It's just a very anyway. So right. It's not an actual map like Italy, fucking Sicily. It's like no, it's just beautiful data. And it showed like all the different European countries of young people, so 16 to 24, the consumption of who smokes marijuana. And he was so like, Britain's one of the highest at 9% or something. And like France is 6%, Italy is like 12%, and Spain's like 35%. It's like
it doesn't.
They all smoke weed.
I know. I haven't smoked. I smoked some. Someone gave me some over New Year's Eve, but I haven't smoked any since I've been in London. I like a couple of drags on my mates when I was playing snooker. He smoked, but no, I've just really loved having this clear head.
Yeah.
No weed, no booze, no sugar. I really genuinely think that amount of sugar I hit over Christmas was making me stupider. I mean, really, I just felt like half the brain power that I had. I'd try and do something on my computer and I'd find it. There we go. Got my coffee. Look,
man. I need
an animal.
Nice, man. Absolute animal. You look at the bangs now. Look at this.
I know, mate. You've gone the opposite to me.
Yeah, man. I think
looks good.
Looks all right. Yeah, it's manageable now as I can tuck it behind my ears, so it's okay for now. Just in life at home, but I'm not brave enough to take the
clippers.
Look.
Well, this thing, literally, my clippers just stopped working.
So funny.
Ed has fixed them for me, but I haven't left the house.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went out like this. Yeah, I went out and the guy in the Italian coffee shop who we've become friends with, he goes, "Oh man, where did you find a barber?" I'm
like, you're looking at him. Yeah,
it looks okay from certain angles, but from certain angles, I look like I've just.
That is, you know what that is on the side? That's a Spanish cut. You know them, like
it is, isn't it?
These teenagers who just like fucking smoking marijuana all day, and they've got like a mullet. Like, yeah, the amount of mullets I've seen in Spain, it's a thing again now. Spain brought back the mullet.
Definite. There were loads of mullets, weren't they? I actually quite like it. I think I might just go full mullet when I finally get around to doing it.
Well, I think it works on the side, yeah. Like the length it is at the back there. I think it looks pretty good actually. You just need to do it on the other side as well. Then.
I think but I think also it needs to be thinned out a bit, which I could probably do with a comb and a razor and a shaver. I'll fuck about
YouTube.
With it. Yeah. So Ben, you've been doing some. I mean, you're like HappyTech is one of the things I do, but actually I'm involved in lots of different things, and you are the same. You've been doing some volunteer work recently. It's really fascinating company. Tell me about the company and what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. It's a company called The Mighty Creatives, which is an amazing charity. It's in the East Midlands in Britain, and yeah. So the clues in the name a bit. The Mighty Creatives is all about helping young people. The mission statement is, I should know this by now, but it's essentially giving young people the voice of the creative industry. So a lot of people have already been in care, or they're still in care, they've left care, say, and they haven't got anything to really focus on. That's one area. There's multiple layers of the charity, but that's one area where they can bring them into an area with mentors, for example. So you'd be great for it. Yeah, someone who's works in music production, you could take someone under your wing and train them, or maybe they've got a talent, if they're spoken word, loads of poets are on there, that sort of stuff. So that's good. They do a lot of work with schools, education, of trying to bring more arts and creativity to schools. So they're involved in lots of schools. Now, what I'm working in is I'm project managing. So in Britain, they've just launched, or in lockdown, they launched a new scheme, which is they will essentially, if you're 16 to 24 and you're unemployed, they will, if you're a business, they will take you on, and for 25 hours a week, the government will reimburse you for that. Plus, they'll give you a £1,500 grant towards that person to help them be more employable at the end of the 6 months. So if that's, let's get them a new laptop for their training, let's give them more training, and all these different things. So there's been a massive, massive demand for it. And the reason we're doing it, we're being used as a gateway. So employers will apply to us with like job vacancies. They all get checked out to make sure they're legit, they're ethical and all these different things. And once they're accepted, then they can place their vacancies online and people can apply for those vacancies. But it's very much with us in media industry, so digital industry. So we've got, this morning I was on the phone to this guy, an amazing business. He's got investment. It's a music business, which helps brands. Let me think what he does. They help, brands with music. So let's say if it's like an influencer or different, but that's an example. And he's got 6 vacancies of different people. So he wants someone doing a social media. He'll want someone doing music production. He'll want something doing this. So the person's getting 6 months of training, 6 months of not being unemployed. And at the end of those 6 months, they might take them on, or they make them much more employable to somebody else.
Brilliant. When they sent me through the reference doc and I looked at them up, what they were doing, I'm like, this is a brilliant organization. Let's shout about them, and we'll put the link down below. Yeah,
please. Yeah, the Mighty Creatives. Yeah, really made. The guys who were there, they want to work. They want to change young people's lives. And the CEO Nick Owen, who brought me on, he's an MBE. He's legit. He's a really good guy. But it's just not, my life, my work has been really corporate typically. Yeah. I've done some bobs, and now as I'm not working right now full time, I'm doing bits of HappyTech, I'm looking at different bits and bobs, and it's the first time I've had time in my hands. So I said, rather than being in lockdown and doing nothing, drinking beer and wine, even though that's happening as well. But the other time I would like to actually do something. And like we said, the secret to living is giving. And
absolutely, mate.
We've talked a lot about this recently, haven't we? Like using our skills and our experience to actually do something. And look, and for me, nice things have happened already. I'm getting phone calls every day and emails and people to say, like, genuinely, thank you. This is going to transform my business. It's so nice to help people.
So great. Absolutely, man. Just the buzz. I mean, it's a win-win. I always call it the win-win. Like the people win that you're helping, and you win. You can't, and the universe wins. So technically, it's a triple win.
Yeah. And it's just nice.
I've been doing. I mean, I've been super productive on my own stuff during lockdown, like making videos and writing and all that. But I've also been helping out people, just really simple things that for me I can do really easily, like uploading their videos to Instagram and things like that. And out of nowhere, I've been gifted a desktop Apple computer with a monitor, which I'm going to take back to Casa De La Realidad in Spain and set up a podcast suite there with it. And I just, So I said this to a friend. He goes, "Oh, it's just a random sequence of events, the universe." And fair enough. But I have noticed the more I give, the more positive energy I push out into the universe, the more comes back to me. I don't do it for that reason.
Yeah.
And it's a nice bonus,
Bonus, yeah.
So why not do it anyway?
Yeah.
If you can.
Like it just makes you feel better. And naturally, look, me and you are into like law of attraction and synchronicities and things like that. Pretty less than some people, but more than most. And we've seen it ourselves. I mean, just like meeting people and going with your instincts on certain things, like a little nudge from the universe, just like following your instincts. And typically, it leads into something good. If you're nice, if you're a nice person and doing nice things, then naturally other people want to be around you and do nice things as well. If you're a cunt and you're miserable, then lo and behold, probably people will avoid you.
I think what you're saying is your vibe attracts your tribe.
Exactly. It is. It might sound cheesy and stuff and bits and bobs, but it's worked for us so far. And even when the shit is the worst, and I don't know, if work's going bad, or your skin, or you've had a breakup, whatever, the best way to feel better about yourself is doing something for somebody else. 100%.
100%. And that Tony Robbins thing is about when you think you have nothing to give, that's when you should give more than ever. And I remember like in 2009, 2010, I was kind of not earning much money. I was running up big rent bills and things like that, and my studio was overdue. And I had a few quid in my pocket because I was producing records for people, but it wasn't quite enough to put out those big problems I had. So I would give that money to homeless people in Shoreditch. I had so much time on my hands, and I got to know all of the homeless people in Shoreditch, and I would give 3 or 4 quid to them, would make a huge difference to their day, but wouldn't put a dent in my rent problems. You know what I mean? And eventually I woke up and I got a really well-paid job and I sorted it out. I did. But I strongly believe that well-paid job fell into my lap because I'd been putting all that positive energy out with the homeless people. You know, it's like, that's what it felt like. And there have been times in my life when I haven't felt that good about myself and I haven't done any giving. And guess what? Your life hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
And I've learned it as well. Maybe like it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be your time.
Absolutely.
Your time's more valuable than anything. And that's one thing we've all got probably now more than others is time. And that's why I was like sort of funny because I was literally like in December when I was first back, I was looking so hard to do charity work and volunteering. It's quite hard. It's quite hard to give, especially now in lockdown. You know, I was looking at food banks and like the homeless charities because that's like living in London, like you in Shoreditch. That's the thing that's affected me the most. I'm seeing it every day, but obviously lockdown and the rules, there's nothing there. So.
No, it's COVID has stopped that because I tried to during sort of Christmas and New Year when I was feeling quite like decadent and lazy, and I thought, God, got to go and help someone, Dan. And I saw this thing on the TV about this Sikh organization that were running a food bank in Whitechapel, and I applied to them to go and volunteer, and they're like, we can't take any volunteers on at the moment because of COVID. We've got enough people to run, but we can't take anyone new on. That was a downer. But then. Probably a blessing, as all things are, because immediately I got super busy with my own stuff. And I'm like, actually, you know what? It was a good idea to do that. And it would have been nice for a few hours a week, but actually you need to take care of your own business as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your thingy yesterday? The circle, what's it called?
Mate. That men's circle is started by.
I want to do it. I was literally working with charity stuff till
really
late.
Good, and it's really good. There was like 10 people in there, and what it starts off with you sort of introducing yourself very basically, and talking about 2 feelings you've experienced in the previous week. Now, if you don't want to contribute, you don't have to. And the guy that's running it, Ilias, says at the beginning, if you just want to lurk and watch, fine. Pick up some tips. You don't have to share. And there was a couple of people who didn't share, and they had the cameras off, and they were just listening. That's fine. But it was a bit funny because it got round to my turn and I was super bullish and I was like, I feel amazing. Lockdown's such a gift to me. I'm being really productive. And you know, 2 things I've been feeling is this incredible sense of reward from being productive and finally editing hours of video content that I've had for years. And then secondly, this tremendous gratitude for, although I'm locked down in a flat in Camberwell, my life is very interesting and I love it. And then the next guy came on, he goes, well, actually, I'm feeling really trapped and quite sad. And I just felt like a twat.
Switch the camera off, have a cigarette.
I was like, oh, God, Dad, yes, I'd kind of forgotten that some people are finding lockdown very tough.
Yeah. Well, I think most in various ways, yeah.
But it's very interesting thing. It's like it's to talk about any blocks you're having, any challenges. It's a bit of a public accountability. At the end of it, Ilya goes, so anything that you want to work on this week that we can ask you about next week and see if you've done it, that keep you accountable. Be it exercise, smoking. There was a whole lot of thing on exercise. Again, there was a couple of people on there like, I can't wait till lockdown's finished. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Have you got a yoga mat and an app? Yes, here. And I'll and they were like, I said, look, I've actually written this email. You know, this all came out of a joke thing. I didn't use Insta for a year, and in my comeback post, I wrote something like, coming soon, how to get abs in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And a couple of people actually messaged me saying, I'm looking forward to your guide. I'm like, I was taking the piss. I'm really not going to do that. People will hate me if I do that. But
what you need to have a 6-pack as well to prove it at the end. You know,
well, I did have one after like, Yeah, well, when I wrote the guide, when I think it was pre-summer, before I started drinking lots of beer and having loads of ice cream again, I had a really nice one, and then it comes and goes. It's like a small child that you have to take. You can't feed it too much, you can't feed it too little. You know what it's like, right?
No.
It's not something that you get and it just stays there. It goes after about 4 days.
But yeah, but like all the people we like Charlie Hunnam or all these movies that we watch and being like, oh my God, that's the aspiration. It's like, yeah, but they didn't drink water for 24 hours, you know.
Before they stopped. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
and they only ate protein for a few days or whatever. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're seeing them at their best. But no, what I get the six pack doesn't disappear. It like the muscles are all still there. You just get a little
still
bit
there. You just got meat and 2 veg. Yeah, you got meat and veg on top of the muscle.
Yeah. But no, so what I did do is these two people that had messaged me on Instagram is I said, look, send me your email address. I'll write up what I did. I said, here's the app I used. Start slowly, 10 minutes a day, just ramp up. You know, all of this, don't scare yourself off kind of thing. And if you really want to have abs, then you need to do 20 minutes of ab exercises every day, about 4 times a week. And that's what I learned from Charlie Hunnam, which is this interview.
And don't booze.
Yeah, and like no booze and no sugar.
Or less,
Or like you can have a couple of beers.
Yeah, well, booze and sugar's the key.
Sugar's the key thing. Sugar. I mean, yeah, abs are made in the kitchen, as they say.
Yeah.
But really, it's like, the Charlie Hunnam thing, and it resonated for me. He said in the interviewer was like, how do you have such a great six pack? And he goes, well, I do 20 minutes of ab exercises 4 times a week. How badly do you want it? And I was like, what a brilliant expression. How badly do you want it? Like, do you want to say, oh, I really want abs, and then you do 20 minutes of abs once a week? Or do you want to listen to what he's saying and you have to put 2 hours of work a week in? And actually, if you think about it, 2 hours, less than 2 hours of work a week to have an amazing physique, you know? Obviously, he doesn't only do ab exercises, you've got to do other shit as well. But yeah, so these two, I did actually write this up, a guide of how I'd achieved it. And sent it to them. And since then, I then started that Twitter private group of accountability. I've sent that guide now to about 11 or 12 people, just people who are saying this thing to me, this limiting belief is like, can't wait to get fit again after lockdown. I'm like, get fit now.
Yeah. Like anything, like cigarettes, like fucking anything. It's now's the time, you know. And like we always say, you know, what is it we say? Like, no one's ever regretted a workout. No one's ever.
No, I mean, unless someone said to me the other day, well, I did once dislocate my shoulder down.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah. I know. Well, that's why I say to people about the calisthenics I've been doing, which is bodyweight exercises, that you can't injure yourself badly. You can't. I mean, you really can't, because you can't lift. You can't. You're not lying on your back with massive weights that might pull your shoulder like that. I've taken my shoulder out doing that exercise with like 32 kilograms on either side, you know, and it couldn't work out for 2 or 3 weeks. It was a pisser.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that's happened to me in calisthenics is this thumb is a little bit sore, because I think I did it like doing like diamond push-ups or something, and because most of the routines have push-ups in, it's been hanging around for a few weeks now, this kind of slightly sore thumb. I'd literally have to not do any push-ups for about 2 weeks, I think, and I'm considering it, or strap it up or something. But you know, it's like that thing, you can't.
Even that one, you can still do it. Like if you really wanted to, you could just do the fist push-ups, you know. If it hurts there, you could do that.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, that would work.
Oh, you could do it on your knuckles.
Yeah, your knuckles. Yeah, it's a little bit harder, but yeah.
I might try that. Yeah, but that's the thing. I have a slightly sore thumb. That's the only injury I've picked up during like nearly like 8-9 months of calisthenics.
It's a similar injury to like writing. You know, it's not going to be extreme.
No, exactly. I know.
Yeah. Or PlayStation thumb.
PlayStation thumb is a thing. I used to, mine used to be a Commodore 64 thing, but I'm a bit older.
RSI.
I had a joystick. It was Winter Olympics that always got me. Electronic Arts Winter Olympics, and like to do the cross country skiing was like left and right like that.
Yeah, that's been a lot of practice of that one. That was always my favorite. You know, the ones the athletic games and things when you'd have it on a joypad, and it'd be like the ones you do like your fingers. Oh my God, those are my favorite games, and I'd like through the years I'd learn different techniques, and you get a towel, and you'd rather than do this when you do like the slide instead. So it's like I was a master. I broke all the records.
You used a towel to do it.
Yeah, it was a towel, like a little flannel. So we worked out, and that was the most efficient way of doing it, as it's less friction. So we spent hours. That's what I mean. What we did before phones, do shit like that. Or literally hit a football against a wall for about 4 hours on my own. Not thinking if a girl texts me back or not.
No, exactly. Well, no, yeah, I would be like down playing in the beck, as we called it in Yorkshire, the little river.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'd be building boats, and like around fireworks night, I'd get older kids to buy me bangers, and I'd build these wooden boats, and then we'd do some kind of elaborate fuse that we could set off from the side, and we'd push them out and then blow them up. Fucking brilliant. Nice. But now, I can't imagine anyone being bothered to do such a thing.
You are, yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like you've got this. It's like my nephew, he's like 18, 19. He's been addicted to his phone since he's about 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what's the way out though now? Because it's so normal for them. It's like it's another limb, isn't it? Like it's hard for us to get off phone, but like we can still see the benefits, and we can, trick our brains or do things like incentives to keep your phone away. But if it's that ingrained in your psyche, in your nature, it's how do you remove the limb?
No, absolutely. Well, you have to have some kind of wake up of like, fuck me, my life is not improving my life. This hour, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day on this is not helping my life. And hopefully he will have that revelation, but no amount of me telling him that will make him do that. You know what I mean? I mean, one thing I find when we're in Almeria, I don't go on my phone hardly at all there, because there's people to chat to and hanging about. And also I just try and put it somewhere away. And fine. There's moments when like maybe we're waiting, maybe we dropped a new bit of content on Instagram, and it's obviously we're keen to see how it's going and things like that. But generally there, I find it a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, and at David's and stuff in different places. Yeah. I mean, the only time, I mean, I was only quite a bit though, but like a lot of it was just recording what we were doing, really, just because it's so mad. It's so mad, it's life and stuff. But
they built an alchemy garden. I saw on they built some kind of they're growing aromatherapy things. But I know so little about this subject that
Josh was using his thing.
Josh has put it up, because he's got the what they call lambit. It's like this stove thing.
Yeah, like the gin distillery thing.
You can do all kinds of things with it. You can make vodka in it. You can do cooking in it. You can create these aromatherapy oils, and that's what they're doing. So they've been working on the compost, moving that somewhere, and planting all the. Yeah, it looks amazing. It's incredible. I'll tell you what, having a car when I go back, having a car, because the thing is, I think about this stuff and I think that's great for a week or two, and then I'd quite like to go to Almeria and have a croissant, please.
I've been visualizing that a lot, mate. Like.
Spain is so blissful. I love it because there's no one on the roads until you get to the sort of towns. There's obviously a few people, but you can go for hours and not see anyone, especially between like Almeria and Valencia, which is the route I'll be doing a lot. I really do imagine myself going between the two a lot more regularly than I was, because I was doing like a month or 2 or 3 months at each. I see that change.
Nice drive. It's a fun drive, isn't it?
Fun drive. It's just good to. Yeah, it's a beautiful drive, just through the mountains.
Avia in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, near. Yeah, it's on the way, isn't it? At least. Or
is it way? I might be actually. I don't. My geography in Spain is terrible.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but yeah, like enough people, enough places to just have several little stops and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Right, you gotta go now.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Mate, that was brilliant. We got loads of great stuff. I'll edit that into like 15 minutes or something. Actually, IGTV's limit is 10 minutes. So I'll maybe do a couple of 10-minuters. We'll see what we got.
Do 10 minutes and stuff. You're whacking HappyTech on it, man. It'd be good. We'll do it more often.
It's good check-in.
Yeah.
It'd be a regular series.
Yeah, we should do it, yeah.
Yeah, man. We are doing it. We've started.
We are doing it, yeah.
We should do it. We should do it. We are doing it.
We are doing it literally right now. It's funny in podcasts, you look back at old podcasts and you always watch them how they start. It's like Joe Rogan in his like fucking bedroom, and so it looks terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
And we get like 100, they'll go like a half decent studio, and then now it's like you legit.
Now it's like he's in some spaceship thing. Yeah.
All right, mate.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, man.
See you soon, mate. Love you. Bye.
Love you, man. Bye.